Today I've just chosen to double down on regret, but, well, what's new about that, really? On this channel, right? Right. So, we still owe Sonic 2 and Sonic 3 from the Donathon that happened not too long ago. So, continuing on that vein to try to get through this, for those that weren't here during the event, we got to the final stage of this at the time and failed. So, with a bit of luck, we'll manage to pull it off today. I am not feeling the best, so we'll see how long I last today. It may end up being short. Despite the fact that I slept better, as far as I could tell last night, than usual, I do not feel particularly rested today. And my body is still angry, so it's gonna be the way that it'll be. It's one of those funny things of mild bright side of it. It's not pain as much anymore, but things feel weird, and I don't like it. But either way, we will press on and we will try to get this done. Now, it is worth noting that I do not remember much from when we were doing this before, so, don't be surprised if I make the same mistakes again that I made last time. It's highly likely that that is exactly how this is going to play out. But who knows, maybe I'll take a different enough path that good things will happen, like finding that one up that I'm pretty sure I never found purely accidentally. Now, you might be wondering why I'm wearing the Scientist PNG today, and it's mostly just a matter of I don't really feel like any of the other ones particularly need to be a thing for this either. So I just let the first one that popped up go for it today. Since Christmas has passed, there's no need to wear the holiday suit anymore. As much as that may be a disappointment to some people out there that really liked that. We didn't have enough rings to activate the extra thing there anyway. Thanks for hand-delivering me to those spikes. That's clearly what I wanted. The ups and downs of taking different pathing. Sometimes you just get delivered to death. After all, how are they to know that's not what he wanted? Okay, at least there's a ring box there. Kind of hoping for, you know, a little bit more than that. But I can ask for a lot of things and not get them. Nope, Tails died somewhere. Real shame, that one. So close to getting the thing to activate, but it's fine. Tails, please. Come on, Eggman. Come on back out here so I can beat you up some more. I'm not done with you yet. Easy. Come on then, run. I was over here stealing the credit after I did all the work. Out. Let me out. You know, never mind. Put me back. I don't want to be here. Let's try going up here this time. I'm so glad I did this, because it led nowhere. As a reminder to everybody, I do have a new controller now, so it shouldn't have as many problems as we had last time. Not that I think that some of those problems were actually the controller. I'm pretty sure some of that was in my head. But I do think that it will take care of some problems. As I already mentioned yesterday. You know, at least until this one gets beaten down to the point where it doesn't work well enough anymore, too. We shall see how long that takes. One more and we'll get a life. Oh, who am I kidding? Me get a life? That'll never happen. And we're out of here. Hooray! Yeah, as with Sonic 1, I am invoking my right to use save states if I so choose now. It will only be per act, per zone as with Sonic 1. So, if I so choose to put a checkpoint down, I can. I'll probably wait till later in the game to do that. As demonstrated last time, we really don't start getting threatened till like halfway in. Let's just try to capitalize as best we can along the way and then see what happens later. If I can avoid ending up in the water as much as possible, that would also be ideal. Not likely to happen, but it would be ideal. Oh, we're so close to having enough. Yeah! Up to 6 lives, and we can give a swing to getting our first emerald as well. I think we missed a bunch of lives the first time because I kept grabbing the checkpoints along the way instead. Because for those that don't know, if you try to go for one of these mini-games and fail, you lose the rings you had. You might even lose them if you succeed. I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head on that. But if you fail, I know for a fact you lose your rings. Proved that last time in a very unfortunate manner. There we go. Got all the rings I needed. Now we can get some extras to make the next part easier. Cool. Get 140. Well, as Tails doesn't let me down too hard, we'll be able to make this happen. There we go, got everything we needed. We'll grab some more for fun. Emerald, get! The very not emerald colored emerald. Hooray! We're up to 7 lives. That's pretty good. Thank you, Tails. Rather not immediately lose what little we gained. I suppose the upside to losing our rings this way is we can grab 100 again. Uh-oh. Or, you know, promptly lose what I had picked up. That's also a thing I can do. There's an extra life down here. And death. So anyway, it's basically as if we didn't get that life. But it's also as if we never fell in there. So, you know, who's the real winner here? The answer may surprise you in that it's still not me. Hi, Tails. You will be missed by somebody. Remember when I said avoid being in the water as much as possible? Yeah, any idea what happened to that? I'll give you a hint. I didn't do it. Come on. Made it. And we're out of here. Once again, forgetting about moving platforms. Well, guess we're down here now. Guess what else I just forgot about? I'll give you a hint. The fact that you get crushed by squeezing in there. You know, maybe I should check to see if that extra life comes back. Remember when I said I wasn't gonna be threatened until later? I may have forgotten a few things. You know what, that will do the same thing we did before, because apparently I thought that was a good idea. Okay, this extra life does come back. Good to know. We can actually kind of perpetuate a life loop there. Just, you know, maybe do it better than I just did there, where I threw my rings away in order to do that. But it could be worse. Tails landed in the spikes again. The fact that they give you a sound cue for when Tails dies is certainly something. So I would assume that's as much for when you're playing with someone as it is for when Tails is just off doing his own thing. Probably more so for when you're playing with someone. Nope, so much for our life loop, but that's okay. We might be back down there again soon anyway, if I make a bad jump somewhere. Never mind, time for the boss fight. Let's not fall in the hole like I did the first time. Because that one I do remember, because that was embarrassing. And if there's anything I'm good at, it's remembering embarrassing things I've done instead of the good things. There we go. First try. My victory this time, Tails. None for you. Alright. Still, we're up a life from when we got in there, so it's fine. This is a place where I'm interested in putting a checkpoint save down for. Is this place I remember going poorly. Like, I don't recall it going so poorly as to have it be an actual, like, legitimate issue, but it wasn't great. I think we went down below last time, so if we go this way, maybe something good will happen. Get through. Why were there two checkpoints back to back here? That's a little weird. So if I'd gotten that box, we could have actually made a play for a bonus, but it's fine. I clearly don't want to hang on to my rings either, otherwise I would have actually, you know, not slammed my face in the first thing that flew by. Wait. That was weird. It felt like the screen scrolled without me moving for a second there when I hit the bounce. Act 1 already has gone slightly sideways. Not badly enough to be a problem, though. Tails, you don't want to catch arrows. Arrows are not what you want. They just tell you where to go, in this case, telling you to go to hell. And no, you're not supposed to oblige them on that idea. Let's get some air and then we'll potentially get some other air. Early, but we made it anyway. Air bubble, please. Air bubble, please. Come on. Maybe don't actually panic like that when you are in need of air, by the way. It won't help you. It's the opposite of helpful. That is, in fact, how people drown. Can I actually get those at all, though? I don't think so. Well, nuts to it. That's 20 rings I would like to have, but I think I would have needed to have caught the thing as it was falling. And I'll just get attacked through the floor. Okay, sure. Love that for me. No. See, this sends me back, but why would I want to go back? And there's this to recoup some of my losses, I guess. Couldn't get him to jump again because underwater physics are so fun. Speaking of fun, get rid of that. You really can get some height underwater, huh? Not in places that I want to, but you can do it. Okay, good. I might not regret having moved forward. Come on, come on. Thank you. Don't think I'm getting those now. We'll just refill on air right quick and then we'll hit the bounce pad. Take our time, keep refilling on air so we don't have to worry about that. You know, Sonic, that series where you're well known for taking your time. Oh no. Okay, there's surface right here. Everything's fine. Oh good, you can just jump right up there. Thing is, it does push you back a fair bit when you jump on him. Ah yes, the ass end of an arrow is clearly the thing I would expect to be harmed by. Tails, please. You were up there, buddy. You could have done so much to save the day. There we go. First try. We at least haven't lost to a Robotnik fight yet, and I'm happy about that much at least. And again, we're still up on lives compared to where we started, so I'll take what I can get. Down the checkpoint. One of these times I'm gonna accidentally load, and it'll be very funny. Let's go gambling! All the points. I don't know why I'm going backwards right now. Probably just collecting rings. This doesn't go all the way up, right? No. Okay. There was a world in which that went all the way to the top and it was gonna crush me and it would have been very funny. Not helpful, but very funny. Could you imagine if we actually had a time limit in these stages? How much of a nightmare that would be? There we go. For some reason I thought that was gonna also count for the slot machine, which is why I did it. We'll get out of here eventually. Okay, fine, we'll go this way. Since I'm just apparently not allowed to go back up the way we came from. I mean, technically this is the way we came from, but that's neither here nor there. Okay, this is clearable. So, whoop. Just clipped right on through that box. Don't mind it. Everything's fine. Seven more. And now it's 100 more again. So I forgot about the jerk-offs with the shields here. Not where I meant to end up, but you know what? It worked out. Sometimes things just work out and you don't question it. I live here now. Oh, there we go. Extra life. Don't you love it when you accidentally find an extra life? I know I do. And away! Ah, hidden thing. Boing. No, I don't want to be back down here. Well, I guess I kind of do, actually. Because doing that allows me to do the same thing again. Why do I keep hitting that same spot? It's like I'm not learning. Oh wait, I am not. Ah, remember when we got out that one jackpot? I remember. That was nice. I'm never gonna see that again. Not really sure what this invincibility was supposed to be for. Tails, please. Well, that's a shame. That's the opposite of what I wanted. Wait. Perfect. Okay. I'm pretty sure I would have... Never mind. I'm pretty sure I would have lost my rings if it went all Eggmen, was what I was going to say before I crushed myself to death because I'm good at video games. It was a tactical decision to get myself out of that situation. Now, I can't necessarily say it was a good tactical decision, but it happened. Oh. Pretty sure it's just an immediate one-up if you get all Sonics. I feel like we missed things and still ended up with the same amount of rings, and I'm not sure what to do with that as a concept. That doesn't really make sense, you know? Death Pit? Maybe. Not Death Pit. What an odd situation to have found myself in regardless of the speed boots. There we go. That officially was not worth the effort I put in to get there. A statement I can unfortunately say about a lot of things. Yeah, why not? Funny thing, by the way. How to explain the funny thing? Never mind. I lost it. I had it, and I lost it. I was gonna mention something that was a little weird, and it just... The concept slipped right out of my brain the second I brought it up. Tails, please. Kinda counting on your ooh here, buddy. Like, it's a good thing I'm carrying the lion's share of the rings, but you are carrying a few, and those few can be important. Ah, once again, the blind spot mines fuck me over. Because it was just a blind corner. There was nothing you could do about that. Yeah, we gained a life out of it, so you know what? It's not the worst thing that could have happened. Oh, no, 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 no. Why are there so many Eggmen? Why are you the Eggman? Oh, you can do these more than once. Same results, though. I mean, hell, if I really wanted to. Oh, God. My rings. There we go. Okay, all Sonics is only 30. Never mind. But theoretically, I suppose you could just keep infinitely doing that to get all the lives and rings you could ever desire. Plus or minus getting Eggman a couple times. Could you imagine if I'd gotten crushed by the elevator? It's an easy thing to imagine, because I'm sure it's happened. Not to me yet. But some poor sucker out there somewhere has probably gotten destroyed that way. We could try again for the bonus, but I'm not interested at the moment. No, and I can't go back up. Oh, never mind. Remember the lesson we learned. The lesson being, don't do what I just did there. We used the power of physics without using the bouncers. We just hacky sack Sonic back and forth. Hi. There we go. First try. Still haven't lost to a Robotnik fight. We'll have to hope that that stays true. Despite everything that's happened, we still have more lives. Like, we're slowly gaining lives. I remember not gaining much here, but it wasn't the worst place. Problem is, as we learned last time, all the lives and such don't matter at the end because you kind of need rings to be functional in that final battle. Or you just have a miserable time. That is, in fact, the letter ABC, yes. Welcome in. That almost went really badly. Tails, you bastard. There you go. That's more letters. Well. Eat. We didn't have a choice because I don't think those platforms come back, thanks to Tails being an idiot and landing on the damn thing. Invincibility is always useful. I mean, just sending a single letter would count as unique. Was it a fumble or was it all part of the plan? Let's take the low road. I don't remember which way we went in here before. I'm pretty sure it was this way. We're going this way anyway. I don't know why I took damage there, but we'll go with it. Shield, yes please. Lava's bad for my health. I mean, now that I have invincibility, I technically get to use the lava as an elevator. Let's not do such a silly thing, though. Moves like that are just asking for trouble. Stop that. Five more. And there we go. 9 lives. I think is more than I ever had when I did this last time. So, you know, we got that going for us. Can I make this work this time? The answer may surprise you in that it's probably landmine. Why do I keep falling for that? I know which side the rings are gonna spawn on, yet I always think they're gonna alternate. One day I'll get better at protecting Tails from himself, but I gotta be better at protecting myself from myself first. Everything's going wrong. Yep. I avoided the blind spot mine, but it was too late at that point. I hit too many other ones. Oh, that's right, we go straight into this fight. Oh, I actually died to that, because I forgot I didn't have any rings. Well, that's the first Robotnik we've died to, and it's honestly probably the most embarrassing one other than the round 1 Robotnik to have died to, since you can literally just do that for the most part. Till you randomly fall through him, which I forgot happens. Great, just make it up for all those lives I managed to hold on to now. Right, it's when he starts descending, you just fall through him randomly. That's the thing. Let's actually see if I can grab a ring. There we go. It won't save me from falling, I don't think, but it'll stop me from just burning myself to death being stupid. Okay, no, it does save me from falling. Very good. Well, saved me from falling. There we go. Well, that's leveled the playing field a bit, huh? And not in a way I'm happy with. I suppose I should put a checkpoint save down here, but I was tempted to leave it where we were so that I could regain those lives, but it doesn't matter. Come on. Yeah, that's right. Buttons are the only way to do those. I don't want the shield, but it's a good thing I had the shield. I want the checkpoint, I don't want the thing. Need to build my life supply back up. Like this. There we go. I hate the fact that those guys are just like immune while they're lit up. There's like so many arbitrary protection moments things have. It's like, yeah, don't even hit them in the head because you'll be dead. Haha. Like, okay, but what the fuck's the point? On the bright side, it just once again gives me the opportunity to potentially build up another 100, so we got that going for us. Not that I anticipate that happening with what's left of this stage, because I feel like we're past the halfway marker at this point. Yep, there it is. I was pretty sure we were decently far in. I was gonna joke and say, remember those rings are there when I invariably don't have enough for an extra life by that amount, but it doesn't matter now. So this is where I start falling apart, huh? This is the stage I've chosen to start just smashing into everything. Crazy Drag, thank you for the raid. What are we up to today? Hopefully y'all had a good time. Welcome to me just trying to get through Sonic 2 again. If you need to raid and run, please do so. Make sure to take care of yourselves. That is always the most important thing to do. I would help you with how to continue that message, but I don't know either. I barely know what I'm doing, let alone what anybody else is doing. Alright, Eggman, bring it on. So far, so good. Ooh, interesting. Working with the seasons can be interesting. Just a matter of finding a way to make them actually stand out without being so completely different that they don't show as the same character anymore. Hey now, Troy, how's it going? There we go. Was pretty sure I could get the kill there, just wasn't entirely sold on that idea. Nice, nice. Hopefully work's going well. We're a solid way into Sonic 2 here, so we'll see how long it holds up for. Not feeling the best today, so we might end up cutting shorter than usual, but we'll see. See how things pan out. That makes sense. Yeah, colors are a good way to denote it without changing the character design too much. You could slip little things in from each of the seasons as well to help hammer the point home a little bit. Like some scattered leaves in the design for the autumn version, things like that. Little touches without it being too big a change. When it comes to discourse, it's an eternity of discourse. I mean, there's a big swing between summer and winter, so changing a lot there makes sense. You know, considering those are complete opposites. Just like between spring and summer and fall and winter, you may not want to have it be too extreme. And still, like I said, has to retain an element of the original form. Just slap a wasting everybody's time in there somewhere in that loop of the layers of discourse, and then yeah, you basically got it. I suppose wasting everybody's time in bureaucracy are the same thing. Yeah, exactly. Once again, missing that extra life, we're probably never going to see how to get that, and that's fine. It's right above where we ended up here, but there's nothing leading up there. Or that I saw. Probably just a hidden path somewhere. Since those elevators don't go back up, we're kind of SOL on that one. Not that we're doing that badly with 7 lives. That's true, yeah. You can try to twist it to that angle. Really all depends on what you want out of it and what you're aiming to convey. Like, I find that I always have to slide like a little bit here or there just to make sure when I'm doing all my various forms that there's something giving a hint, even if it's smaller. Our best so far was getting to the end without actually finishing the final fight. Today, I think we're like halfway. I don't remember exactly off the top of my head how many zones there are. I feel like this is about halfway. That final boss fight just is awful. And I will retain that statement. I'm sure that exists out there somewhere. Just with the popularity of Sonic, I would not be shocked if somebody has made exactly that somewhere. So, if that video had been made, it's probably a few years old by now. If I were to hazard a guess. Well, yeah, because all the lives in the world won't help you when you get one shot constantly by the fact there's no rings at the final fight. And the whole thing starts over every time you die, so it's just kind of a awful uphill battle there. If there was even like a single ring to pick up when you spawn back in, I think it would be fine, but there isn't, unless there's a hidden thing that I don't know about. Which is likely, but not guaranteed, because I remember even somebody who knows Sonic well complaining about that. So, I would not be shocked if there just is nothing. Now, as a reminder for everybody, while I had played this one a bit when I was younger, this was one of the few Sonic games I actually played at all, and even then I didn't play it that much. So, there's a lot of I'm just making this up as I go along happening here. Yeah, the advice I was always given is win that fight the first time. Don't think about the concept of trying to do it on a follow-up. It is just bad if you have to try a second time. Which is funny to me in a way, because most of Robotnik's other fights are really not much of a thing, and then the end is just like, ha 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 ha, fuck you, die. I mean, yeah, this entire ocean is oil, which for robots I'm sure is great. Maybe not for any other forms of life, but, you know, it's not exactly Eggman's priority. The laser has to come up first. There we go, get two that time. Jump over that. I did not let go of Duck, but Sonic decided to twitch up for a second. Sonic, you are a pain in my ass sometimes, you know that? It's fine. That fight really is not that much of a thing. Well, that's always been the main redeeming quality of this franchise at all, is the music. That's the takeaway most people have from this series at all, is, oh yeah, the music's good. I don't remember that much about anything else, but the music was fun. The only real exception there being actual Sonic fans, who usually complain about the direction the series is taking and then talk about how good the music is. Well, of course they'd be innovative as far as their interaction with the hardware, considering they are a first-party series. That's like saying the Mario games are innovative on Nintendo's hardware. It's like, well, gee, I wonder if they have an advantage there somehow. Down we go. Apparently this checkpoint was further away than I thought. There we go. Now we're where we need to be. Okay, I don't know what happened there, but it's fine. Forgot about the laser again. It didn't make noise, which is weird, but that's okay. And it also did the pattern differently. Welcome to this game. Like, no matter how much people love this game, I will consistently remind people that a lot of things in this game, and a lot of this series, honestly, is complete bullshit. See, that's not always true. A lot of the time, at the very least from what I've been told, first-party developers do actually have like a decent amount of information about the hardware because of the fact that they're connected with the rest of that. It's not always the case, of course, but it does vary there. At the very least, they would, for example, have earlier access to material. Again, it varies from situation to situation, company to company, and era to era. Like, this is not a blanket. This is always true for every company statement. But there just has to be some connection there. Oh yeah, some companies are horrendous at sharing information within themselves, 100%. Like, there are innumerable companies where the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's talking about. And half the time don't even realize there's two hands at all. Why'd I try to go up on there again? I learned last time that that was a bad idea. And getting spiked there was a matter of Sonic deciding he'd rather flail his arms on that edge instead of following directions. Okay, Sonic, do you just really not want to go up there? Come on. Like, I don't want to go anywhere in here either, but we have to. This is honestly one of my least favorite sections of this game. This place is kind of a nightmare. All that, especially with how often it just does not adhere you to the bolt to spin it. No, well, it can be confusing. I didn't find it that confusing. I just found it to be hot garbage full of death traps and nonsense. Case in point, the fact that you can crush yourself into the ceiling with these bolts, which, mind you, before I reached that ceiling, I told Sonic to turn around and go the other way. It didn't take that input at all. He was committed to going up more, despite me pressing left. But the amount we went up to begin with is because of how bad this is at actually adhering you to it sometimes. Like, this area is just jank incarnate, and it is awful. Like, pathing-wise, it's still fairly straightforward. Just, it is a gimmick fest in here. And not in a fun way. Like, if I had to point at two spots I hate to deal with, it's this and the final fight. You have to get over the claw and hit the top of the crab. That's about the only way I've found to be at all successful. But he'll almost always hit you before you can even attempt that idea, because he's placed exactly to make that near impossible to do without getting hit. And because it's a Sonic game, the hitboxes are a question mark as to whether they even work. Work at times. Problem with hitting the top of the crab, though, is sometimes when his claw's retracting, it covers further onto the body than it looks like it does. So you just get screw-jobbed. Oh, I think I'm about to reach the end, so... I need one more ring. Come on. One more ring, game. One ring, please. There we go. That's all I wanted, was the extra life. Hooray! I actually have a solid amount of continues, I think. Tails, if you could be useful sometime, that'd be great, but... Yeah, see, this is a perfect example of where the crab is an issue. Just chilling there with no real way for you to avoid running into him, particularly. Like, I don't know where you were supposed to get the height to jump high enough to get past that. Basically, more or less guaranteeing you losing rings there. Which, admittedly, they put it nice and early, so even if you lose the rings, it's not that big a deal, but it's just like, you could have just not done that, though. The stars can be very annoying on some of the bolts, just because they're placed so that if you're going just straight up, they will punish you. That was an odd bit of animation, but it's fine. See, land square between the eyes and you're fine. Beyond that, it's a crapshoot. Get me out of here. We're certainly having better luck getting through here than I did last time, that's for sure. I didn't have a choice there. If I stayed on the bolt, I lost. If I jumped off the bolt, I lost. And now the bolt's just awkwardly placed enough that I gotta reset it. Problem is, I just wanted to jump straight up, but you can't actually do that with any consistency on these bolts. They will try to launch you forward. Presumably because it still treats you as running forward. Yeah, because the second I'm, like, fully stopped, it works again. With the timing we had there was no fully stopping in time. It does and it doesn't. It really depends on whether your second player is of any use at all. I say having experienced having a second player that was the opposite of helpful. I wanted that shield, but okay, I guess I'm just getting railroaded. That's fine. That's true. Tails is indestructible, which is very helpful. And honestly, just having Tails consistently hitting anything, as far as, like, the boss fights go, is a massive benefit. Because you're basically just doubling your damage at that point. Or you can have whoever's playing Sonic just focus on surviving and have Tails do all the damage. Because again, Tails doesn't die permanently, so it's just a win-win. Yeah, this act is where the stars start to become a little bit of an issue because they can just hit you from a mile away because you happen to keep their shot on the screen just enough that it'll just show up wherever you're going. Because I'm doing that thing again where I'm trying to do what Sonic's meant to do, which is go fast, and I get punished for it. And I also forgot that this is a door that only opens from the other side, not this side. For reasons. I forgot for a moment that I'm playing Sonic and you have an extra, like, foot above Sonic's head that gets you crushed even if you didn't actually touch anything. I should have just barely managed to squeeze under there ducking. That's not how Sonic games work, though. Yeah, you know what? We'll take it. We get screwed by random nonsense. Let's go ahead and take a bank error in my favor there. Sometimes things just balance out. I was watching the one on the right because you would think that would have activated at some point and been a problem, but no, it was just there to be a distraction. Remember when I said that they get worse in this section? Yeah. Situations like that are exactly why, because there's just so many more of them. And God forbid this fucking screw reset at any point. It does reset, but you have to go to the other side of these fucking things for some inexplicable reason to reset it. Or it's just not gonna reset at all today. Okay, sure, fuck you, game. I'll just go all the way back the other way, I guess. Except I can't, because good luck jumping over that. No, it's just designed by idiots. That's the thing. If it was designed intentionally to be a troll level, it would be a lot more direct about it. Because they've already done that, and they're not particularly good at being subtle about that. This area is just a clown show, is the problem. Just consider all those situations where spikes pop out of the floor and things like that. That's them trolling you. Things like this are just, they got, I suppose the nicest way to put it is they got overambitious with how this place was designed. And it just doesn't work properly as a result. 'Cause I do think that's quite reasonably true, that there was a good idea here, but they overdid it for what they had to work with. So it just doesn't completely land. Because these gimmicks are neat. They're just jank. Which can be the problem of gimmicks by their very nature to begin with, of course. But especially to have something that's janky like this be a late game level where they're cramming a lot of things attacking you in as well, it just becomes not necessarily challenging, but just annoying. That is a perfect case of why annoying. Yeah, exactly. And I don't think they even noticed, particularly. Is an issue that is very common in playtesting of things, is your playtesters become too familiar... Your playtesters become too familiar with the material, so things that are difficult for a first-time player get missed, because it's designed based on the input of people who have now done the thing 1,000 times. And of course, it's not necessarily meant to be completed quickly or easily by any stretch of the imagination, so that it lasts longer as a rental. Ideally being rented multiple times. Yeah, I did that thing again where I forget that I'm not playing a good game, so I end up getting crushed in places where realistically you shouldn't get crushed. Is like, getting crushed in a situation like that would be a haha funny if it weren't very clearly not necessarily intentional, because of the amount of space above you when you get crushed in situations like that. It's hard to believe that that's intentional. That just feels like a flaw in how they boxed out Sonic's sprite in terms of where he will actually make contact with things. Fuck you. Now the crabs are very believable as a haha fuck you troll bit. And I'm still a firm believer in the thought that these stages in some of these were designed by multiple different people, which is why you end up with such a different feel from stage to stage. Didn't have a choice. That spike was already nearby when Sonic decided, oh, I want to adhere to the screw now. Because those screws are fucking garbage. Okay, I don't know why that launched me that far that time, but I guess we're here. Now this is the place where my lives are gonna get set on fire. Just this act alone is awful. The rest of the zone is fine. This act is just garbage to get through. Thanks for also eating my input on that at Spinner there, game. That's clearly lovely design. And I know what happens with this. It's because it's rotating and it's treating part of it as a slope, part of it not as it rotates, so the game gets confused and doesn't know what to do with you in terms of input put there anymore. Because you very frequently end up also not actually being attached to the surface anymore. Again, ambitious design that didn't really get thought through completely. I just want to get through here, game. Could you just fuck off and let me actually get through here? You're just wasting my time and everyone else's. Yep, we're just gonna keep doing this. Any day now. It's like, this is another perfect example of the problem with this stage, is this climb is just really long for no payoff, really. It just exists. And then these guys just don't even activate sometimes, which makes it a crapshoot to avoid them, because... oh yeah, sometimes we'll activate and attack you, and other times we'll just kind of sit here. You can see them start flashing so you can tell when they activate, but... just... there. Hey there, Jay. It's going alright. I'm ranting about this act because this act is hot garbage, but other than that, everything's going fine. Oh yeah, speaking of crapshoot, this fight, where you kind of have to just gamble whether you're actually going to hit him without getting hit, or not. You almost have to wait and let him release all the inflatable Robotniks first. Not that you have enough clearance to be able to jump over him most of the time either. This would be a fight where having a functional Tails would actually be useful, because he could just tank the hits. I don't know if it's just me, but looking at how those are spinning, I cannot get a read for timing on that at all. Because of the way they twist around him, it's bad visually to try to parse that. Yeah, except it's 50 deaths in order to get those 50 hits, and it doesn't help anything. Well, that's kind of my point, is Tails is almost required for this, which is not good design. It also would help if you could actually pick your rings up consistently, but oh wait, no, that would again require this to be a good game. The fact that they just phase through you sometimes is disgusting. And I will never stop being mad about that, because it genuinely doesn't need to be that way. That is unnecessary dickery there. And now I have to go through this stupid mess again. Okay. To further the point about making Tails do it, though, at that point you don't even need to worry about timing at all or anything, because if Tails gets hit, it doesn't matter. Already so fucking tired of this act. As if people couldn't already tell, but still. Come on. And I didn't even make a save state at the beginning of this act or anything, I don't think. So, we'd be going back a couple zones if I screw this up. And you know, maybe that's for the best. Give me a brief palate cleanse before going back to this garbage. Honestly, would do wonders for my sanity, probably. But that is the one upside to having to redo a game sometimes, is you get away from the parts that are pissing you off more likely than not. Which is probably part of what helped people actually be able to endure these back in the day. In addition to things we've talked about before where it's like, oh yeah, this is the only game you have, so you're gonna fucking grin, bear it, and make do. Or other numerous situations like that. Or as has happened with some people as well, you get one game that you didn't like and then you just give up video games entirely. Which has happened to people. I do actually know a couple people that, until further along in their life, actually just straight up gave up on video games because they played something either like horrendously difficult or just bad when they were young. It's like, wow, this whole video game thing fucking blows. I'm just not gonna do this. Which it's a shame when that happens, but it's also very understandable. Like, you have a bad experience with something, you're not really gonna be inclined to repeat it. Ignoring the fact that, you know, there's a variety of things in the medium. It's a gamble whether you'd encounter a similar situation again, so I can see where their angle would be in that situation. I had the pleasure of opening people's eyes to that concept a couple times. It's like, well, yeah, of course that game sucks ass, but if you try this, you might have a better time. And lo and behold, they were addicted ever since, because they actually got to experience something that suited them better, instead of something that was absolutely not to their interest at all. And sometimes it's just, you're also at the wrong part of your life to try something as well. Which can very easily happen. Once again, God forbid I be allowed to pick my rings back up. Like, this is already the anti-impatience fight. So, if you don't like waiting, this fight's gonna be the death of you, hence why I'm having so much trouble here. But I'm also not gonna sit here and learn how to get Tails to consistently land on this either. Much happier doing it this way, where I just pick my ring back up and keep doing this. Yep, got fucking robbed, but that's okay. That's all of his protection. And he only had one hit left, so it didn't matter when he did his laser part. I feel like that fight would have been better if he had less of those barriers, and the laser section would actually be more of a threat. I feel like that would be a much more interesting fight. Thank you. Oh, speaking of garbage segments, Sky Chase Zone. So it's not completely terrible. It's just one of those things where it's like, kind of annoying. Because I think it's again a case of they may have been a little too ambitious with their idea here. Just trying to keep Tails in a useful spot can be a bit janky. Like, he'll magnetize just fine, which is the only way this even works at all. Bold of you to assume Tails has a license. That right there is a perfect example of the kind of thing I'm talking about that's an issue with this. I hit the side of that guy while I was fully rolled up, which is ordinarily all of the things you need to succeed, and yet I got killed. It is and it isn't, because it's also just riddled with enemy spam and bullets, which is not very interesting. Just like, oh hey, we're just gonna throw a lot of shit at you, and you don't have much room to maneuver, so good luck. Like, if I wanted bullet hell, I would go play an actual bullet hell. Not that this gets anywhere near that level, but you get the point. Just feels like it doesn't fit in here. Absolutely. Okay, good. We're past a chunk of this now. I don't think there's any checkpoints in this stage either. I'm pretty sure it's just all or nothing. So now is when they start really throwing a lot at me. The fact that you can spin dash on here to begin with is fucking weird, but again, it's probably a matter of they didn't know a way to remove your ability to do that within what they've designed. So it's just like, well, hopefully people don't do that when they don't want to.
Hello there.
Hey there, Callista, how's it going? Speaking of nightmares, welcome to Wing Fortress Zone. Another place where your lives are going away, is you will just fall off the map, like every 5 feet. The fact that I've made it here in one go is honestly surprising to me. I kind of figured I was gonna have to redo at least a bit before we got here. This might be another continue going away immediately, though, because of the grab mechanics here. And I don't think there's enough rings to get anytime quickly here to get a life conveniently either. Because we really haven't missed very many. Careful of the spinny boys. We almost have enough. Just need 7 more, but I'm being real careful. 2 more. Nope, 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 nope. Come on, where's 2 rings, game? Come on. There we go. Now we're not out in game over territory anymore for the second. Fuck this guy in particular. absolutely did not have to do that, but I did that to make myself feel better. Boy. That was risky. I thought for some reason that gray bit was a platform. Oh right, because it looked like a lot of the other platforms. Is this stage also does a lot of things where your foreground and your background looks similar. Am I going in a circle? I am going in a fucking circle. I ended up back at the beginning of the stage somehow. How did I manage that? I'm genuinely confused now. How did I end up all the way back here? Oh, there's an extra life though, so ending up back here was worth it. This music feels weird sped up. Gotta go back to where I missed my exit and we'll be making progress again. Somewhere along the way here, I ended up doing a weird thing. Yeah, so I was supposed to be going this way. I instead went back too far to the left. I didn't have a choice at that point. I was already committed on there. It's a good thing I got the extra life, otherwise I would be very cross right about now. Not that I'm not already quite upset, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, so let's just make sure that the player has no method of actually attacking that guy as they arrive off the hook. Player agency, why would we let you have that? That'd be silly. That would give you a chance. That's not what we do here. Okay, now that they've freshly extended, we should be able to make it across all of these without it being an issue. I shouldn't have rushed last time, but I panicked. Because a lot of the stage genuinely isn't that bad. It's just sections like what we just got through there that's annoying. Like, I would actually still rather do this than do the last act in Metropolis Zone, if I'm honest. Wanted those rings, but I guess I'm not allowed to have them. Of course, remember what I was talking about, where retrying the final bit's not gonna matter that much in the grand scheme of things. Of course, there's also this awful fight here, too. Is they thought it was a great and fun idea to have the platforms you use also kill you. And, like, part of this fight's big sin is it's not even an interesting fight. It's just a lot of hurry up and wait. Like, okay, just float around on those platforms and wait for it to expose its weak point. Oh, you didn't go fast enough, now you get lasered. Oh no. It's like, why? And then there's the times where you go through the very side edge of that platform and just get fucked. Oh, not allowed to have nice things because I'm playing Sonic. Got a bad bounce, so we're just not getting anything done here. I would have liked to have done more, but I just slid right off of that with no control. I would have loved to go for a third shot, but I don't trust like that at this point. There we go. Like, it's not horrendous, it's just... it's both questionably designed and not interesting. Oh, there's an extra life in the cockpit. It just keeps a Sonic head in there, or for luck, I guess. That's not weird at all. Of course, we're SOL on this one because I'm going into the final bit with no rings. Hitching a ride, don't mind me. Part of me honestly wishes you could jump off here and end up dying, just because it'd be very funny. It'd be very annoying, but it'd be very funny the first time. Just what does this button do? Okay. And yeah, see, no rings at all. So I have to fight Metal Sonic with no extra hits at all. And it's very easy to end up over-jumping because you're trying to get to him quickly in order to hit him at all, and you just get fucked. I wonder if I could just spin dash into him and have that count. Okay, that works, but you clip through him for reasons. And then end up dying anyway. Very good. Good game design, everybody. I needed to know, because otherwise I would feel real bad, because it's like, oh hey, that's something I could have done the whole time. See, they knew Tails was useful, which is why they took Tails away from you in this segment. I also don't know how I didn't die there. But the timeline has corrected itself, because of course I jumped to the second he was gonna roll up. So I'm just trying to get through this sometime this century. And you can't attack him there. You can attack him there, though, so I can get a free hit at the beginning. Remember, this is when he jumps, so I can just stay down and wait. Then he goes across again. He's gonna jump again. Or not. I thought it was always one jump, one across. Then again, I don't think I ever usually got that far. Usually I would die to the first jump because I'm a goddamn fool. Thanks! Thanks, game. Thanks for having dog shit hitboxes. Well, this is the start of a zone, so I'm going to put the save state here, and we're just going to brute force this, I guess. That's what I've decided to do now, because we got here with no rings to begin with, so I couldn't even use that as a bet hedge. Agreed. I'm trying to figure out a way to speed this up as well. which is not helping. As we all know, I hate with a passion endurance fights. Is they feel like they just are designed with no respect for the player's time. It's like, hey, my whole mechanic... I didn't intend to jump there, but I think my finger twitched and made me jump. Because I was hovering over jump, but I did not intend to press it. Like, if your whole fight's mechanic is, hey, this fight is long, maybe that's not great. That's the point I was gonna make before I did something stupid. Like, if the whole point to your fight is consistently execute the thing without making a mistake, that's not really much of a thing. Should be jumping? Yeah. Oh, right, he also shoots spikes later on. Right, because that's a thing he does. Okay, we got it. Is there another part after this? I feel like there is. I feel like there's like an Eggman fight as well now. Yeah, because he jumps in this big robot. How do I do this fight again? Oh, he's locking onto me. I should move. Yeah, see, he's got belly spike protection. I think I'm supposed to wait for him to, like, launch arm rockets or something and I jump on those? I genuinely don't remember how that fight goes because I've seen it a whole, like, once. And I've certainly never done it, as has been made quite clear. And this is why I'm willing to save state this bit, by the way, for those wondering, is because you have to do these two fights back to back. With no reprieve, no resources, just half fuck you. Fucking forgot about the fact that that wasn't a jump round again. Because he doesn't really give you, like, a hint as to whether he'll jump or he'll roll. Well, that I can tell, at least. Like, maybe there is a visual cue, but I just genuinely don't see one. I didn't have control. I held back the way I wanted to go real hard, and he's just like, nope, I'm already committed too far. Can't turn around. Oh, can't do it. I'll take that. I thought I jumped way early there. Which I did, just not as way early as I feared. There we go, Metal Sonic down. I really should have checked for, like, boxes or something on the way. It's like, maybe there is something hidden in the ceiling or something that I didn't notice. Nope. I don't know what your opening's supposed to be. Like, am I supposed to go between the foot and the belly and, like, hit him in his robo-dick or something? I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do there. Yep, I knew I was screwed there, because if you're moving to the left when you jump, even in that, like, last quarter of the map there, you're probably hosed. You're probably not gonna be able to recover. Couldn't get control again. I pressed jump, but it's like, nope, you're still in the landing animation. No jump for you. Hey, Pazzy, how's it going? Welcome to a awful final sequence because they decided 2 boss fights back-to-back was a good idea. Thanks. Of course. There we go. Oh wow, we got him a cycle early that time. Is there anything here? Anything at all? Answer is, of course, to no one's surprise, there's fuck and all here because fuck you and the horse you rode in on. How do I hit this piece of shit? Does his foot hurt me? That is another very good question. Of course it hurts you. Everything about that hurts you. So, getting under it's not the move. That's fine. We'll figure it out eventually. It just may take wasting a lot of my time. Because that's what this segment's here to do, pretty much, is waste the player's time. Forgot that he jumps at that part because I'm losing track again already because God forbid there be any good information given by the attack. You're just supposed to memorize what he does. I hesitated because, of course I did, because of the fucking question mark whether he jumps or not, even though you'd think by now I'd have it committed to memory. But I'm losing it now because brain is getting bored of doing the same thing 100 times here. This isn't even an interesting fight to begin with. And repeating it just means brain bored now. Brain want to do something else. Tried to hit him again, but it just didn't rebound properly. There we go. Now I guess we're just gonna have to do the most boring thing of just watching the Eggman robot stomp slowly to the side to see if it'll actually give me any kind of clue as to how to hit it. Because I have to assume I missed something the first time I was walking across, because I feel like they wouldn't make you not be able to attack this thing for one full cycle like this. So there's gotta be something I didn't understand. Okay, he does have hand launches. I would assume I get him when he does that. I just was not expecting how quickly it popped out. Yeah, no, I wasn't kidding when I said that this whole sequence is garbage. It's just not... It's not reasonable to do. Because there's no rings in this segment at all. So you can't make a single mistake or you have to fight both of them all over again. Oh, yeah. And for most people playing this, it probably was the final straw. It's like, by all means, make your final battles difficult, but, you know, maybe be slightly reasonable to your players so that they could actually accomplish something sometime in the same decade. Again, I'm forgetting this whole fight already because it just doesn't fucking mean anything to me. They're like, ooh, I'm Metal Sonic. Ooh, so exciting. Yay, Metal Sonic. I'm a character so many people clearly care about. Get fucked. Okay, at this point, in order to save myself some time, because of how easily I disposed of him that time, I'm just gonna put a checkpoint there so we're not here all night. Because at this point, it's literally just learning where the actual chance to attack this stupid thing is. And if you genuinely have to wait for him to punch in order to be able to hit him, sorry about you, but that's dog shit design. Oh, good, he's facing the wrong way. Oh, those just sit there and then very slowly explode. Okay. I kind of figured I was supposed to destroy them or something. No. No, they just sit there. Okay. This again makes me wonder how this continued to be a series with decisions like this fight here. Then again, the vast majority of people playing this in their youth probably didn't even get this far. Again, I need to just be moving by the time he even crouches down. Otherwise, I will just get punched. Because it comes out really fast. And I'm betting there's a trick to this where people could just obliterate this thing. Because if you know, you know, because of course that's just how this works. Problem is, without looking up information or anything, I don't fucking know. Get him back over here. Wow, those go out far. And he punches with both. Okay. Which, good luck telling that that's happening when he's off screen already. I heard the noise, and that's the only reason I even attempted to react. But how are you gonna know where it's gonna be when it's literally off screen? And again, I see the intent behind this, like it's supposed to be this big epic moment. But it loses all of its big epic moment when you are just dying 1,000 times trying to get this to work. Because you just get one shot over and over again. Like, it really loses all of the benefit when it's just a constant loop of fuckery. And to have his whole first loop be just kind of wasting your time like that, assuming that that's the case. And I can't even... I think I genuinely have to hit him when the first hand goes out and then somehow not get hit by the second hand. But I have no idea how to go about doing that without putting myself in a position where that other hand hits me because there's such a small window. Well, of course it's a big thing watching a speedrunner do it. Speedrunners have these things mapped out to the point where they know where every pixel is supposed to be. Yeah, that's about what I figured was going to be the case, though. This is all super precise. Probably way more than it needs to be for the average play experience. Like, see, I can make it work there, but I misjudged the timing on the second one. But like, just from a first-time experience standpoint, this really just feels tedious rather than good. Come on, any day now. Because you also have to consider that under normal circumstances, you'd be replaying through the entire game as a result of getting blindsided by, like, these turbo speed punches. And I wouldn't even be using the save states so much. But they don't give you any rings to have any room for error here. If you even had, like, a ring box before this section of the fight, I would be much more forgiving of this. But no, they expect you to do all of this basically without getting hit. Because your only margin for error would be, like, one unhit most cases. And if you mistime that jump even slightly, you just get screwed. Because you can't rebound well. And you can't even use Tails as a crutch for this segment because he's left behind on the planet. But I can definitely see how you'd end up with like 9:30 on the timer just because of how long this takes to accomplish anything. I'd be happy enough just to survive the first sequence at this point. There we go. Like, I'm assuming you could probably jump high enough that when his hands are in between there, you probably can get an opening there, too. You have to manage to not get clipped by the edge of the spike that'll be passing in front of his belly on the other side. Which I don't trust like that. I'll be honest. That's putting entirely too much trust in this game's hitboxes for my taste, with the things I've seen along the way here. Like, that seems to be the move for that part. It's just hit once, bounce, and run for your life. Just, it's slow. And I don't know what the point of this walking segment here he's doing is. Like, unless you really get that precision down, this is just a waste of the player's time. He's just stomping around and trying to make himself look cooler than he is. I haven't really counted how many hits this has been, because I'm not going to worry about it. Because the answer is going to be, it's going to need too many. Yep, go back up. Now we go back over here and we do this again. Oh, the excitement. Yep, I went too early. And this is exactly why sequences like this are terrible. Because you end up in a position where it's like, oh hey, you made a tiny error, guess you're just gonna get fucked. Also, ads are running, so I'm gonna get up for a second anyway. You're not gonna miss anything, I'll be back in a second. I'll actually just go ahead and let the music play, it's not like anything's gonna happen. Alright. Because the alternative was leave you guys with nothing going on, and that wouldn't be nice for anybody. Let's see about making this happen. Yes, yes, stomp stomp, oh no. Big scary robot, ah. And in theory, since I'm save stating, I really should be using my infinite attempts to find the openings when he's standing. But I just really don't want to sit there and just keep loading these 1,000 times, either if I can help it. Not that that's not going to be exactly what's going to happen anyway. Is invariably we're going to get to the 7-minute mark and I'm going to make a mistake. Nope. Really should just bind load state to a button. Okay, yeah, see, I hit him there. Okay, hang on. So it's height that's the thing, not timing. This is why you shouldn't give in to despair. That's a lot of hits, okay. But I'm assuming this thing probably takes more than your average opponent to kill, too. This allows me to change strategy, though. So what we can do is attack him when he's walking instead of attacking him while he's attacking. Except I fucked it up. So I started getting greedy. Still, that's much better progress. Too low. Like, you have to be at just the right distance. Yeah, exactly. I will take what I can get. Considering we usually got a hit in and then died, 5 hits is a massive leap forward. I'm surprised I got away with that one. I'm not surprised that one didn't work. I got greedy because a good thing happened again. Yeah, I didn't figure that was gonna work, but I wanted to see what would happen. Curiosity got the better of me. Remember, folks, sometimes all you need to do is get up for a moment, and everything will suddenly shift in your favor. It's still weird sometimes with those hits, but it is what it is. Nope. Knew the second I left the ground I fucked up. We will win this, it's just gonna take a bit. Yep, knew the rebound was gonna go bad there, but for some reason I went with it anyway. Okay, hang on. Let me do a thing here real quick that'll make our life easier. That one. There we go. Now I don't have to worry about accidentally saving a state at any point. I can just load faster. course, I'm looking forward to the time where I just happen to twitch my hand wrong and end up loading the state right as we're about to win. And honestly, I will accept that as karma for using the save states. Yep. I wanted to see if I could get away with that. I should have went for a lower swing. I would have risked hitting the foot. Yep. And I'll only be using the load when I'm actually dying. I'm not going to use it to, like, reposition or anything. It's just cutting out the death animation and everything to expedite the process here. Even though I know this is already kind of jarring to be warping back so much. And as we know, it's not my preferred method, but it's that or redo the Metal Sonic fight a worthless amount of times. That was interesting. We bounced off the outer edge of his shell there. I wonder if there's a way you could actually, like, trap yourself in there and just pinball around and kill him instantly or something stupid like that. If you get stuck in the right part. So you don't just get stabbed by the hand immediately. Nope, got greedy. As a lot of you that are here know, I'm not bad at games. But some things are just really not something I do well with. We're just gonna play it safe and stay over here when he does his punches. And then just when he goes walking, we'll beat him up again. It's a lot safer than risking getting hit by the punches, as I feel at this point. Okay, is that it? That is the question. Looks like it is it. I think we've won. Yep, there we go. Thank you. Okay, so that's Sonic 2 done. We've done Sonic 1 and Sonic 2, so that's... We only need to do Sonic 3 now for the Donathon rewards. And then it's off to Donkey Kong Country 1, and then we'll keep going down the list from there. I was originally going to alternate, but I got hard-headed about this one and wanted to get it done. And for lack of a better way of putting it. And Sonic died on re-entry. One wonders how he actually manages to fall out of the sky through the atmosphere like that, but there's a lot of things that get hand-waved away in these games. It's just because, no, it looks cool, we're gonna let him do it anyway. Let me go ahead and get this marked down on the clear list as well. As soon as I find it. There we go. That's actually expanded this month up to 4 games, including having done Sonic 1 earlier this month, and Dungeon Explorer and Dark Cloud 2. We're up to 53 for the year total as well. We'll let the credits roll and then we'll jump to Sonic 3 for a little while. I don't intend on going long today, but I'm at least gonna try to get some headway, you know? There was part of me that was like, I'm just gonna end stream after the game's done, but with it only being 2 hours and us having gotten through it, I'm not gonna cut yet. Just because I'm still dealing with a bit of a front issue here. It's not too big a deal. Thank you, thank you. Is a little bit of context for those who don't know. I thought I had a toothache, but it's looking like I might actually have just like a weird sinus issue that's putting pressure on a nerve up front there somewhere that's just pissing everything up there off. And I don't know if it's a sinus issue necessarily, but that's one of the few things I could find that connects to that made any sense. So it's just an odd situation to be in general, and the pain is not major, but it's distracting and annoying. So I will consider it an extra success to have gotten through that even with that distracting me. Next ad loop, I'm gonna need to remember to refill my drink because I'm gonna be out of water by then.